You're listening to Some Roses Are Red, presented by 79.7. Thanks for joining us again in the studio today for another edition of our holiday 2019 version of Some Roses Are Red. This is John again for Some Roses Are Red. Today in our studios we have Darrell and Andria, two people that I, again, like I always say, people that I vibe with because I know their energy based upon what they put out. And Darrell I've known since probably like the third grade or something like that, fourth grade, something ridiculous. So just wanted to have them in because I won't tell too much. I'll let them do the talking here, but just people that I admire what they stand for. I admire their energy, and I think that we vibe well. And it's like I always say, even if we don't agree with everything, I know that we're a general kindred spirit. So I vibe with people like that. So I invite them on this program here. So we'll get started here. And our first question here is just to get you guys familiar with him. Like I said, I've known Darrell for a long time, and Andrea, I just had the pleasure of meeting today, actually. So the first question we have for both of you is, how long have you known one another?
So I have known Darrell for probably as long as you have.
Oh. Okay.
Yep, we knew each other when we were kids.
Okay.
We lost touch with each other as teenagers, and then Facebook brought us back together.
We go. Okay. So Facebook brought you together. Were you just catching up with old friendships and stuff and happened to see Darrell and say, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, for sure. We met up for coffee and got to know each other again for a couple of years, and then we ended up together.
Okay. That sounds pretty good, Darrell. That's about your gist of it as well?
Yeah, look, modern technology brought us back together, man.
Okay, that's cool. That's what's up. So, of course, as I know that you guys don't know, they recently became engaged. So, what's your engagement story? Because people often want to know how did it happen? How did that process happen for you two?
Darrell, you tell that one since you planned it all.
All right, so I wanted it to be a little bit of a surprise because she, I think, had anticipated that it was coming. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we had been together for how many years?
7-ish?
7, 8 years.
Wow.
So yeah. So the commitment was there, right? It just wasn't it wasn't official yet.
Okay.
So she had a cat. This could be a long story. I'm gonna try to shorten it up for you.
Okay.
But there was a cat that she had found literally outside of her door. It was just meowing. She went out to get it. Okay. It resembled a cat that had just passed.
Oh, wow.
And looked like a baby version of this cat. She just fell in love with it. Okay. And I basically put the kibosh on her having this cat.
Oh man.
So she had to get rid of it because of me.
Oh no.
Yeah. It was just gonna be too many animals in the house.
Oh wow. Okay.
So she long story short, her mother ended up taking the cat. Okay. And as a surprise for the anniversary, I had intended to give her the cat with the ring.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we ended up going out for a nice dinner, Capitol Grill. Okay, and,
lovely place.
Yep, I rented a limo for the night, took the limo to the Capitol Grill, had some drinks, did it up, drove down by the lakefront, and taking a little walk, and found a good spot along the lakeshore, and hit the knee. I'm trying to remember, when did I actually give you the cat, though?
You gave me the cat earlier in the day. It was probably about noon. You left and you pulled up in the garage and you said, close your eyes and stand by the door. Oh, wow. So I opened the door and he's like, put your hands out, and he dropped the cat in my hands.
Oh wow.
And I cried.
Aww.
So the point was, the premise of the whole story was we had intended to, just because of the lives we live and constantly trying to do personal development and grow, right. We decided we're going to take a day, and this is how I set up the whole story for the engagement. That the day was really supposed to be about us living the life that we wanted to live. Okay. Right. So doing the things we wanted to do. So being chauffeured in a car, eating at nice restaurants, taking leisurely time just to cultivate our relationship. Okay. So that was the story that I had sold her on.
Okay. To
set up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And people didn't believe me. They were like, you had to have known it was coming. He shows up with a limo and you don't think anything. I'm like, no, it's Darrell. That's what he does.
That's a good precedent, though. It's a good precedent to have the expectation of a limo may show up out of the blue for no apparent reason, or it could be a surprise engagement. Either one is pretty dope here. So we covered the brief introduction to Darrell and Andrea here. So let's get right into our line of questioning. And of course, as we said, that this is our holiday edition. So a couple holiday questions just to see where you're at, not to pick your brains too much. But the first question here is, over the last 365 days, that would comprise a full year, what have you been the most thankful for? I have 4 caveats here to read to you. The first one is, over the last year, what have you been the most thankful for? And this can be for you individually or collectively, personally. So in your personal space, so in your 4 walls, in your body, when you look in the mirror, what are you the most thankful for just for you?
You can start that one.
Well, I took the last 18 months, so I'm going a little bit beyond your timeline,
Okay.
but I decided I was going to change my body completely. So I lost 65 pounds body fat. I dropped 22% body fat total.
Wow.
Got down to about 4%, and I actually competed in a natural bodybuilding competition. So personally, that was a huge achievement for myself.
That is very huge.
Oh, sorry.
So personally, over the last 365, what are you the most thankful for?
I started out the beginning of last year just really focusing on working on myself, getting out of my head. I'm a huge, really bad introvert, so I started the year off just pushing myself over and over and over to kind of get out of that. And I stuck with that for the year, and I worked on a lot of personal growth in that. I suck.
No, it's
That's
okay. So that's what you're the most thankful for this year. Okay, that's pretty cool here. I'm looking at the screen here because right before they got here, my computer decided to reboot. And the funny part about that is all the questions that I had on there previously weren't on there, but I found them again. So, okay. So the second part of that same question, over the last year, what have you been the most thankful for, 365? We hit the personally for both of you guys. The second one is going to be professionally. What are you the most thankful for in your career? Now, normally I usually say professionally is probably the one that's lowest on my tier because I work just because I have to, because I'm not doing the things that I love. But part of resolving that issue is this podcast here. So for either one of you two, professionally, what are you the most thankful for?
So professionally, I own 2 businesses. One I've had for about 17 years.
Okay.
But it's not fulfilling.
Okay.
And so the beginning of the year, I started growing another business that I chose to start it as a way to kind of get out of my own head, meet new people. It's a business that I love. So
Okay.
I put, effort into a daily practice of doing things that I love so I don't look at it and get resentful of it or frustrated with it.
Yep. That's a good way to do it.
Let me first start out saying, John, much love to you, man, for following your passion and doing something that you are passionate about. Because a lot of people would just hope and dream, but you actually taking some action. That's a big deal, man. So good for you on that one. Professionally, for me, same deal. I have 2 businesses, and I mean the meat of that is my clients. Mm-hmm. So I have to give so much thanks and gratitude for the people that put their trust in me to help me, allow me to come into their lives and make an impact. That's
pretty cool here. So, okay, we got the first 2. We got personally, we got professionally. Now the third one is kind of my favorite here. Over the last year, 365 again, what are you the most thankful for in regard to your immediate family? So this one, I'll give concession and say anyone within your 4 walls of your home that you see on a regular basis. We'll call those people your immediate family. So what are you the most thankful in regard to those people?
So it sounds a little generic, but honestly, I'm just thankful everybody's healthy. Everybody's happy. Everybody's on a good path in life. Mm-hmm. We have 3 kids between us. Everybody's doing well. And honestly, I'm thankful for that because you just never know.
Yeah, that is the general consensus for all the podcasts we've done. Everyone is thankful for health, and that's a huge plus. Darrell.
Yeah, really it's going to sound a little bit more on the generic side, but in all honesty, I am thankful that I have an immediate family. Yeah. I spent a lot of time alone and assessing my life, and really trying to put the pieces together in the right configuration, and I think I got it right this time. That's
what's up. That is super, super cool. I'm a big fan of families. I don't have a huge family, but my wife, it's hundreds of them. At the baby shower, it was like 120 counted, not mentioning my people. It's crazy.
Wow.
Crazy amounts of people. So I'm a big fan of big families. We'll see how far that goes in terms of making one. So the last question I have on that same topic here, over the last 365 days, what are you the most thankful for in your extended family? So that's going to be your in-laws. That'll be the people that you're most close to. So that doesn't have to be blood at all. That could be just friendships if you want.
Okay, I have to say I'm really truly thankful that honestly everybody that I have regular interactions with are really positive people. They're positive relationships. I don't really have any negativity. I'm genuinely love everybody that I have contact with on a regular basis.
That's pretty cool. Darrell?
Beautifully said, and I'm going to piggyback off of that. Great minds think alike. Right. We have done, I think, an exceptional job weeding our garden.
Yeah.
All right, we have the right people in place. Great support system, just amazing folks around us, and we're very blessed in that respect.
Yeah, that is awesome. Extended family is cool. I recently started kind of branching out to more people. Again, part of this podcast and doing music and stuff kind of helps with that. Getting more people involved in key areas of your life that you just need. For me, I just needed to have a new vantage point. Not that I necessarily want anything from them, but sometimes it's good to have a different perspective on an issue. So that's, again, part of the reason why I have this podcast. I'm talking to fantastic people like yourselves here. So we're sticking with the thankful in the holiday season trend here. So our next question here is in regard to Christmas. What was your, if you can think of, your best Christmas memory? Doesn't have to be your most favorite, doesn't have to even be recent, but for either one of you, what was your best Christmas memory?
You want to start that one? I can't think of a specific one.
They've all been good. This is a tough one just because every Christmas is a little different. Yeah. I think as far as holidays go, they're all special in their own unique ways. I don't really have anything that sticks out, right? I always kind of go back to just what was the last Christmas, and just being grateful to be able to have celebrated that with the people that I did. Okay,
I'll ask an additional part of that question. We're still on the same topic here. The first video game Christmas, what was yours?
So initially when you asked that, that's right where I was going to go to. Yeah. I got a Super Nintendo. Probably one of the most memorable gifts that I got. So.
I remember we got a Sega for Christmas one year. I still remember that to this there's video of it somewhere. My grandmother has it, but that was off the chain. Andrea.
All right, so actually that is a very distinct Christmas memory. So I wanted, it was just the regular Nintendo.
Awesome.
So we get up Christmas morning, we go out in the room and there's the power pad is set up. There's the video games stacked up on the TV. The controllers are out and we're like losing our minds.
Yep.
And we're like, all right, we're going to play a game. My mom's like, okay, we'll play it. And I'm like, well, where's the Nintendo? She's like, what do you mean? And I said, well, we have these games. She's, what do you do with the Nintendo? She's like, don't you just like push it into the TV? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She waited until we were in tears because we were frustrated to then open up a cabinet and say, oh, I guess Santa must have left it in here.
Wow.
I know.
Cruel.
That's pretty hilarious and at the same time super, super, super cruel.
Right?
Oh, man. I had my cousin on a couple weeks ago and she was talking about she got a gift from her mom. They usually open at least one gift on Christmas Eve. So her mom had her open one gift. Like, oh, you should really open this gift. This one is the greatest one. So she opened the gift, and it turned out to be a dictionary that her mother needed for something she had to do the next day. So it's like, that sucks for you. So that's right up there, Andrew. I think you might have the goal for the Christmas gift with a little sting to it. So okay, so on the same trend of Christmas here. Our next question is in regard to kind of memories as well. This one is, what are some Christmas traditions that you might have done from your youth that you still do now?
So this is something that was actually a big topic for us this year for Christmas because we really didn't carry anything into our current traditions.
Okay.
It's almost like we lost everything. Yeah, I don't know. I had a big family growing up. We had a lot of them, but as people pass and things kind of move,
yep,
it just didn't carry through. And Christmas doesn't feel the same. So we had a talk, and realized that we really need to make a point to create our own traditions.
Yep. And those are awesome. Darrell?
Yeah, 100%. You know, what? Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Stockings.
Yeah. the usual.
The usual, yeah, absolutely. Gotcha. But like she said, we're really making a hard push to install new traditions for our family.
That's what's dope here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's right along the line of the next question here. I was telling Darrell and Andrea when they came in that we just took down our Christmas stuff, and since I want to say the last 3-4 years, I bought a tent because I'm weird like that. It was a tent on sale at Target, and I'm like, oh, this is dope. It's like a 6-person tent that we set up right here in the living room, and we keep it up usually until like mid-January or something like that. But it's a tent we set up, air mattress in there, set a TV in there, so we spend nights in there, have Christmas lights all around here, trees and stuff. So we make it a big ordeal. So that's our new Christmas tradition that my mother would never go for. So
I'm a little salty we didn't get to experience that.
Like it's dope. Like it'll normally it would be up, but she was like, you having people with the podcast, so she made me take it down. But normally I leave it up to February. But hey, I'm growing. I'm being more mature.
That's really cool.
So yeah, it's actually really fun. So, you know, we just play out in the tent, and it's like he loves it. Like he just goes in there, just watches TV or whatever. It's pretty dope. Yeah. So along those lines, some new traditions here. What are some new traditions that you guys do with your immediate family that are completely unique to you two and this generation?
Oh man, that's where we're failing. Honestly, I can't think of any.
Oh no.
I know.
Oh.
I know. So we had a long talk this year. We really need to pull it together because Christmas just kind of went by and we're like, where did it go?
So no Christmas trips or no Christmas dinner or nothing?
We did discuss travel on Christmas. So for upcoming Christmases, that's a possibility.
Okay.
The issue being our mothers that we still celebrate with. So, you know, leaving them behind. But that could also be a different tradition that we start to install too. So, but I think leading into this next Christmas season, the plan is to have at least 2 to 3 new traditions that we can start to institute.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I do want to do matching pajamas.
I normally don't do that. For whatever reason, my mother got us, me, my wife, and Eli, matching pajama sets, so we wore them on New Year's. So it was kind of cool. Like I don't know if I would do it again because she wanted to take pictures. I'm not a picture dude. I just never have been.
Well, you got to get your social media up, man.
Yeah, man. I'm working on that. Like I was thinking, like, could I just put up like somebody else and just like you look nothing like yourself. Like it's not me. It's a stock photo. So. All right, so we're still on Christmas. We're still on being thankful because you can be thankful anytime during the year, and I suggest that you do. It helps you go a lot further. This next one here was kind of funny when I thought about it because I always get the most interesting answers from this question here, and it's what's the worst gift you ever got from someone for... I started out just making it Christmas, but it got so funny to me. What's the worst gift you got, period? And the second part of that is what did you end up doing with that terrible gift?
All right, so I hate to say that somebody's gifts that they put time and thought into are terrible, right? I mean, they mean well, but there was one year that I got bathroom towels. It was my first year in my first apartment.
Oh, wow.
And so they had helped me. They got towels for me to decorate, and they meant well, but they said while they were wrapping them, they were a smoker.
Oh.
And so the towels had started on fire, and there were holes in them.
And they still gave them to you?
They still gave them to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, here's thinking of you and how much I don't care. Oh, man, that's messed up. Andrew, I think you're winning. You're winning so far.
Yeah.
Darrell.
Yeah, she's got me. She's got me. Same thing. You know, when you first said that, I'm like, man, you gonna make me throw somebody under the bus.
Yeah. Hey.
So, you know, I think like as a kid, like, standard issue stuff, socks, underwear, like, come on, that's the worst thing you get. Don't do that to kids.
Right.
That's not a Christmas present.
It's not.
That's your responsibility.
That's like giving me motor oil or something.
Exactly. But I guess as an adult, I won't say who gave it to me.
Okay.
But I got a pretty horrible sweater one time.
Oh.
And I get a lot of sweaters.
Yeah.
So if anybody's listening to this, you gave me a sweater, it's probably not you.
Yeah. Probably not.
But there was this one sweater.
Yeah. Out of the mini sweaters.
Exceptionally horrible. But I'm sure it went to a good home. Goodwill got it in their pile.
There you go. Gently worn sweater. So what did you end up, I didn't ask you, Andrew, what did you end up doing with those towels?
So I think there were a couple that were salvageable, and the rest just went in the trash.
Oh man! So
maybe
towels.
They were cleaning towels.
Okay, the towels didn't have a long, successful life like the sweater did.
No.
Okay. Well, technically, they were killed when they were given to you, so that's kind of messed up.
Right.
Okay, so this one here, what do we do with the gift here? I gotta kind of deviate just a little bit here because we're approaching the New Year's line of questioning here. Of course, today being January the 5th, we've already experienced Thanksgiving, already experienced Christmas, and New Year's just passed recently here. And what I was going to do initially here, because I think it's cool to have goals and to inspire people to do things. So I knew it's a good chance that Darrell wouldn't do it, so I didn't even ask him. So what I'm going to do is through my intensive research skills, I did a little research, Facebook stalking on Darrell, and I found some pretty interesting things on Darrell. We'll call it the bio of sorts here. We got an Advocare distributor. We got an owner and personal trainer at Fast Forward Fitness, located at 9730 West Greenfield Avenue, West Dallas, Wisconsin. Natural bodybuilding competitor and winner for, I think it was 2 of the 3 categories that he competed in. Four
out of 5.
4 out of 5. So I knew my math was off on that. That's why I was leaving it open. So 4 out of 5. You should definitely check that out for natural bodybuilding. You can check out Darrell's page or go to Fast Forward Fitness if you are listening to this podcast. What's the other one we have? Team Warfit brand ambassador. That's a relatively new one here. Fitness model. I believe it was Horizon Fitness, was it?
Yeah, so Johnson Fitness is the umbrella company, which is a global company.
Okay, Johnson Fitness. We got a fitness coach, we got a life coach, lifestyle coach, and a self-described change agent, because I did see that on one of your videos here. Mental health advocate, and I did see that as well. Facebook vlogger since at least 2014 that I can account for on the Facebook page. Former professional football player, amongst pretty cool guy, very inspirational guy. Not just apart from me knowing him, but just from the outside as a spectator into the grand story that is the Darrell Jack experience here. So what I wanted to do here, kind of still deviating here about the Fast Forward Fitness, the 9730 West Greenfield Avenue, West Dallas, Wisconsin. There was a program that was very interesting, and I wanted to kind of have you expound on it just a little bit. And if you have any other ones that you want to expound on, just briefly here, we'll give you another shot here at the end of the program here. But the one that was the most interesting to me was the Rocksteady Boxing. So if you can just tell me what it is and what it does.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that one catches everybody by the heartstrings because this is a program for Parkinson's patients, and what it does is trains them through a boxing training protocol, and basically helps to offset all their Parkinson's symptoms. So our aim with the program is to basically stop Parkinson's in its tracks, due to the intense bouts of exercise that they use doing the boxing training. And in some cases, we've seen people get significantly better.
Wow.
And everybody has their individual stories. It's an amazing program. If you know anybody with Parkinson's, they definitely need to seek out us or another Rocksteady program around the country.
Okay, so Rocksteady is another. Was that a program that you guys created, or that's one that you just chose to implement at your location?
Yeah, so we're part of a worldwide affiliate program.
Okay, that's dope. Because I know I saw it posted on Facebook, and I also saw it on, I want to say, Channel 12 or one of the news outlets here locally in Wisconsin. And I thought that is pretty dope. And I saw all the faces of people that looked very excited to be there. And to hear that it's actually beneficial, apart from being fun and being a way to get mobile again, I thought it was one of the dopest things that I had seen thus far in regard to community outreach by someone of my age bracket and within my peer group, if you will. So that was a brief one here. Like I said, we will revisit that one. Not that one, but the Fast Forward Fitness. Toward the end of the program, I'll give you a fair shake to fully immerse the listeners in what Fast Forward Fitness is, what it does, and why you should reach out to them. But back to our questions on the new year here. We are at our question here in regard to fitness goals, which is huge for a lot of people this time of year specifically, but in general it should be as well here. This is not necessarily a fitness question, but how do you encourage each other when pushing toward a difficult goal? We know that this is the new year time of year. People are pushing toward goals, and in your daily lives, I know you're reaching toward goals each and every day. So how do you encourage one another when you're pushing for a difficult goal?
I think we have similar tactics. His is probably a little more involved, but I like to tell him to just keep his eye on the prize. Remember, why he's doing it. That, in the past, anytime he's ever set a goal for himself, he's always achieved it.
Okay.
Just remind him that, you just got to keep doing the steps to get there.
Okay. And Darrell?
Yeah, she's exceptionally supportive, so I'm blessed to have her in that facet. I typically tend to be a little bit more of a driver. That's just my tendency. It's my personality. So I'm usually trying to push her on to the next step. We get so wrapped up sometimes in the drama or the minutia of whatever that particular circumstance is that we forget we need to take steps forward. So I try to just be encouraging by saying, okay, what's next? How do we get there? What are the steps?
Right. Okay, that's dope. Another little side question here that just, for me personally, in regard to goals, before I found the wife or anyone significant, I had goals and everything, and it was cool and it was dope, but I found that when you find someone that you can share your world with on such an intimate level, I found the goals were more fulfilling for me. Was that something that you guys found similar, that when you found someone that you could share the goals with, it became a little bit more fulfilling? Not that the goals weren't fulfilling in and of themselves, but just with someone you can share your world with, someone you can say, remember when we were pushing toward this goal and when I was having good days and bad days and you were there all that time, and now here we are at the pinnacle of that goal. Do you find that it's more fulfilling, or do you find that it's about the same?
No, it's absolutely, for me, it's more fulfilling. I've reached goals being single, and I've reached goals while in another relationship with somebody who wasn't on the same path or didn't have the same vision,
right?
And it felt more empty.
See,
it almost threatens that person if they're not, they're not with you. So that is probably one of my favorite things about our relationship, is that we do have goals, and I can share them with him, and when we do something, we get it. It feels good.
And you can see the steps, and you can tell anyone, I saw this happen. I know how it happened. This is step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I think that with that, it empowers not just you or the person who can see you, but everybody that you're connected to also, because you can say, I remember when so-and-so did this, and this was the support that I gave, and this is what I did. So I think it's absolutely dope. Darrell?
Oh, 100%, man. I think that is one of the main goals of a relationship.
Oh, yeah.
It is to share the value and expound on the experiences that you're having. And I can give you a personal example. One of the absolute highlights of my life up to this point, career-wise, I got to play 5 years of professional indoor football. And as a single person at that time, being at the pinnacle of just being short of the NFL,
right?
But being a paid athlete, nobody gets to that point, right? It's a very select few people that ever reach that point, and it felt absolutely empty.
Yeah.
It was a good experience, but if you don't have anybody to share that experience with you, it's just not the same.
Yeah.
And there's been so many little moments and wins since our relationship has taken flight. And it's been so much more special than even playing professional football, just because I've had her to share that with me.
Yeah, and that's absolutely awesome, man. There was a quote that said, "Love isn't love until you give it away," and I think that's 100%. If you can have someone share in the journey, it makes it even better. It makes the journey better, makes the goal and the destination even better. So kudos to you. I told you that people that are on the same freaking wavelength, man, forget about it. Yeah. Our next question here is still on, like I said, goals and New Year. And when I was writing up the questions, I found myself with a lot of goal stuff, and I think that's apropos for the people that I'm speaking with, very goal oriented people. And if you're looking for someone to motivate you and to get you going, these two definitely could help you along that path. But our next question here is this one is one that I added as well. So it's another question of the many that I add, because I think when you're talking about people, things pop in your head, and I just want to write them down. So This one here is believing that success on any level comes from putting yourself in the right place, with an honest effort and some level of sacrifice. What was the first step you took toward a targeted goal you couldn't see clearly or didn't necessarily define? So if you had a goal, believing that you had to put yourself in the right place, and what I was thinking about when I wrote this question, when I wanted to learn how to play drums, I wanted to do music. So I tell the story a million times. I went to the music store and I wanted to play bass badly. So the guy was like, "Oh, there's a bass over there," and it was like $400 some odd. And he's like, "These drumsticks are $10." And I'm like, "I got $10 on me, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that." So I've got the drumsticks, but I used that as my stepping stone because I knew if I wanted to do something, I had to get up from the place that I was and make a step toward that goal. And from picking up those sticks, I practiced. And from practicing, I got a chance to play with people. And from playing with that person, I got a chance to play with another person. And it kind of builds upon itself. So this question is kind of along that same line. So what was the first step that you took in any goal that you can name here that got you to a targeted goal that you kind of had outlined, but you didn't definitely have it clear in front of you? So what was something that you took a first step?
I'll let you start that one.
You all in my wheelhouse right now, man. This could be
That's why you're here.
This could be a long segment, man. I can talk to people for hours about this, and I do typically on a typical week. So I'll just give you a couple basic nuggets.
Gotcha.
One of the best things that I think you can do is first look at what the goal is. Mm-hmm. Okay, have an understanding of what it takes to get to that goal. You don't have to know all of the steps, right? Yep. But know what the goal is and reverse engineer it. So start at the end, work backwards, okay? So if it takes, it's going to take a year to get to that goal, okay, so what does it take in a year? What is it going to take me in 6 months? Where do I have to be at in 6 months? What do I need to be in 3 months?
Yep.
What are the monthly actions that I'm going to need to take? Break that down into weeks, and then you break that down into days.
Exactly.
One other piece of, I think, vital advice to have is when you're stepping out, because there's going to be a lot of unknowns, is your decision-making process.
Yeah.
Right? So first of all, looking at what's the absolute worst-case scenario and be very realistic about that, no matter how bad that may be.
Right.
And then also know what is the best-case outcome, right? And what's realistic, what's likely to happen.
Right.
And if taking action is not and may produce the worst case outcome.
Right.
If that does happen and that's not going to sink the ship, then proceed.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Because the only outcomes are to your benefit at that point.
I agree. I knew that is why we are here.
Best believe I could keep going.
Man, that is why we are here. And like I said about everybody else, these two will definitely be back on the program. They don't know it yet. I'll get it on the cell phone, on a flip phone, whatever I have to do to get these people to get their input, because I said it's important to gain information from the pools and the resources around you. And I think that these two people, as I say often, are fantastic pools to glean information from, to swim in the waters and find out the information that they have, because it not only benefits you, but it benefits someone you may know who you can impart the wisdom to. So dope people, dope people, dope people. The next question here is, if you could speak to yourself from 1 year ago, 2017, the end of 2017, the beginning of 2017, if you could take yourself right now and speak to that person with all the information that you've gained, all the insight and all the wisdom from 2018 having lived it, what words of advice would you give the 2017 you? And of course, this is for either or both of you.
Something we were kind of discussing already. So if I could tell myself a year ago, we'll back up a little bit. For the last 4 or 5 years or so, I have been on a health and wellness journey.
Okay.
I was in a good place with, food, exercising regularly. It was just part of my lifestyle.
Gotcha.
And so I just thought that's the way it would be. So probably around May of this past year, I just kind of fell off. And life got in the way and got busy. And so if I could go back and tell myself, I'd be like, plan for something coming up and just do it anyways.
Right.
As easy as it is to fall off, it's hard to get back on.
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm trying to get back to where I was.
Okay. Darrell?
All right, so I'm gonna ask your permission. Can I come at this a little differently?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so this is the coach mentor in me.
Okay.
As I was thinking about the question, I think there's a different question that needs to be asked.
Okay.
If we could go back and talk to ourselves, most of us at least, I don't even think would take our own advice.
That's part of the next question.
We have so many resources available to us, and people around us, and people who have succeeded at the things that we want to do and be.
Right.
And we don't take the initiative to ever go after that.
Yeah.
And typically, that person who's a year ahead of you already knew the answers.
Yeah.
That's how you got there.
Right.
Right. You just took your own advice.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, I mean, give a little bit more consideration to giving yourself a little bit more credit and taking action on what you know you need to do.
Right. Okay. See, again, people are here for the reasons they're here, and it's dope. All right. So, kind of covered that one. Now, Darrell covered this one, so I'll ask Andrea. Would you have listened to the beginning of 2018 you? If you could go back and you said, hey, set some goals, set some plans, schedule some things, so if you fall off, you can get back on. Would you have listened?
Oh, I thought I would until I just heard him talk. And now I'm like, I don't know, I had the answers anyways. What was I thinking? So I don't even know anymore now.
Okay. Another guy who was on the program here who said he definitely would not listen to himself. And I'm like, oh man. He's like, I know me, I probably wouldn't listen to myself. I'm like, even the future you? Like, nah, even he can convince me. I'm like, that's pretty hilarious.
I'd like to think I would.
Yeah. Most people I think I would listen depending on the presentation. Like if I came in the right package, if I came like looking like all shook and like, oh my God, come on. I'm like, I don't know, bro. I don't think we did some things right. Are we on drugs now? So the next question here is kind of relationship-ish, but it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic here. The next question is, when dealing with the stresses that come in life, general stresses or complex stresses, what is your preferred method of stress detox? And that's for either one of you.
That's another one we're kind of similar in. I really need to just take a step back and sit in quiet, take time for myself, just spend time in my own head trying to sort out my feelings.
Okay.
And how to best verbalize, what I need to do about it.
Right.
And until I get to that point, there's no point in talking to me. I can't get past that. So he's good about letting me do that.
That is a plus in a relationship, to have people sensitive to people's problem solving. I had to learn that kind of the hard way, because in addition to needing that space and that time in a previous relationship, I wasn't very good at communicating that I needed that. So it would turn into like, dude, like, leave me alone, instead of communicating that I need the space. Like, dude, what's wrong with you? And of course that starts an argument and gets you arguing about Q-tips and dumb stuff that's not even really important. So Darrell, how do you detox from the average stresses of life, or even the complex stresses?
100%. Let me just say to the people listening out there that are dealing with relationships in that way, that communication is key.
Oh yeah,
communication is key, because it took us a little while of a little bit of that bickering about not knowing that she needed that space necessarily.
Right.
So, but like she said, we're very similar in that respect. I also got to take some time and just sort of decompress and really look at the situation. And I'm really analytical in that space, and I got to take some time to think about it. However, I differ in the way that I need to speak about it as soon as I'm ready. And we're going to talk about it in detail. Yeah,
because I think, to your point there, I think that people often overlook communication because, like, I know how to talk. That's talking, and talking effectively and communicating effectively are vastly different things. Anybody can talk and say any number of things, but if it's not reaching your point, it's not expressing yourself as clearly as you want to, and the other person doesn't understand it, or they're understanding it differently than you're intending, that's not effective communication.
Oh my God. If you cannot articulate your feelings, you are missing the mark.
Yeah. Funny thing about that, I stopped swearing like in the 6th grade, and the reason I know that, like, why were you swearing in 6th grade? I stopped that because of the movie Malcolm X, and what was funny, there was a scene in the movie where he was in the jail talking to Brother Barnes, I believe it was, Brother Baines, he was talking to. And Malcolm X asked Brother Baines while they were in the shower, he's like, how come you don't talk that, what you know, daddy-o, the jive type stuff, or swear and stuff like that? And Brother Baines responded that a man swears because he lacks the vocabulary to express how he truly feels. And that resonated from that moment to this very moment right now. If there's a point where I can't articulate myself, I need to improve my vocabulary and take a moment to freely express myself in the manner that I feel is the most concrete way to get the point across, to not flare up and just say "you stupid" or whatever the case may be, or flip a table. So I think that, much to your point, communication and the style of communication is very key for a lasting relationship. Again, not just romantic relationships, but any relationship in general. And I think
100%.
if you have a good relationship, you have that kind of trust. What I said before, you can speak freely about subjects that you may agree or disagree with without worrying to have to fight physically later on. So,
Yes.
Dope. Again, I told you, man. I didn't know, but I was almost certain that this, kindred people. I tell you, kindred people. So, okay, where did we leave off here? Stresses. There we go. Well, this is a side one. You kind of answered it, but I'll leave it just a little up there. How does Darrell for Andrea, and how does Andrea for Darrell help you in the process of stress detox? And you kind of covered it there. So, if we want to just elaborate just a hair more.
I'm gonna leave that to you.
Okay.
As far as, again, it comes back to also being supportive, right, and motivating.
Oh yeah,
right. That is, it's a very cyclical sort of situation. So again, coming back and supporting, I think, anytime that you are problem solving, no matter what you're problem solving, you have to be very mindful of the quality of question that you're asking. Right. And I think that we've gotten very good at asking a very good quality of question of one another.
Right.
Because the quality of your answers is going to be predicated off the quality of question that's being asked.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Definitely. Dope people, I tell you. So our next question here, this one is another inserted question here. So, excuse me. In many of your, this is for Darrell here, in many of your Facebook Live videos, you stress the importance of self-discipline. How much of a role in your 2018 successes, or in your successes, or we won't even say successes, how much of a role in your everyday life does self-discipline play?
Great question. And you just set me up for a little bit of a shameless plug, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that opportunity. I'm currently writing a book on discipline right now as we speak, so that'll be coming out hopefully in the year 2019.
Okay.
And discipline is everything, man.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. There's no two ways. You can break self-improvement, personal development. You can break it down into all these subcategories, and we can make it into little niches and sellable bites on Facebook, Twitter, whatever. At the end of the day, it all boils down to self-discipline. Anything that I've ever achieved in my life, and for that matter, anything that's ever went wrong is either been attributed to a lack of self-discipline or bolstering my conviction in the discipline that I already have installed into my life.
I agree. I once had a music, a friend of mine who was a music teacher who said that what he did best was, he said, I don't teach people how to play music well, I teach people how to practice. What you do with those skills is entirely up to you. You can be as good as you want to be or as bad as you want to be. All I will do is teach you how to practice. From that point on. It's on to you. So I'm like, I agree with that 100% there. So on to that same method here, and kind of tiptoeing us closer to the book, I imagine. What are some keys to developing self-discipline or a greater self-discipline? Okay.
Man, we could be here for a while on this one, but I'll just try to give you like the top 1 or 2 for right now. So, I think the first thing that you have to think about is what is it that you're saying that you want, right? Because you really have to have a strong conviction to that purpose, to really speak to that. Because if you just kind of want it, it's something that you'd like to do, you're not going to do it. I can guarantee it, right? But if it's a must, if it's something that you have to have, do, or be, you will find a way to get there. But the question then is, how do you get there? Right? And we talked a little bit about reverse engineering. Okay. So the next step would be, okay, with those next steps, take the step, right? We have to have action without question. And within that, there has to be constant improvement, right? You have to be working on getting better. The reason why we don't have something is typically just because we have not risen to the occasion or to the level of what our dreams require of us. If you want to be a millionaire, you got to have a millionaire mindset. right? You can't have a minimum wage work ethic. Like, I know that's one of those memes we see on Facebook, but it's more than true, right?
Yeah.
You have to raise up to the level of what your goals and dreams are. And if you're not willing to do that, you will never have those things. But again, this is not a complete 180 in one day.
Right.
This is a process. So if you can, I've said this before, I actually just did a video the other day, and I said, if you can just get 1% better, and I hate that so much because I just really cringe when we talk about doing the bare minimum.
Right.
Because that is not the winning mindset. That's not the goal getter attitude that we should be putting in play. We should be doing our absolute best.
Right.
But if what you're saying is my absolute best today is 1%, then you got to give that.
Yeah.
Right. But if you can be 15% better today, then go give that 15%.
Okay. So we're saying give full quality in whatever percentage you can, and more than likely it's going to be more than 1%. But even if you have to give that 1%, give 100% of yourself to that 1%.
Absolutely.
I can definitely agree with that. Man, I tell you. Should have did this weeks ago. Whatever. Okay, so the next question here that we have is, do you feel the goals you've met while being together as a couple? Oh, I did ask this. I didn't know I put this in there. So this one we already answered, so we can skip past that one. Okay, that's dope. Look at me, thinking ahead. Okay, so our question here is, what's the one thing that has impressed you the most about Darrell for Andria and Andria for Darrell in 2018?
Okay, so by far, just watching him go through his bodybuilding journey.
Okay.
You know, and it's not, what impresses me is the end results, which obviously are great, right? What impressed me is just watching him every day after day doing the steps that it took to get there, regardless of how he felt, regardless of what was going on in life. Daily. I mean, doesn't matter how bad the day was, he still did what he needed to do. And the amount of discipline that he had during that time, I mean, I just sat there in awe. I can't believe that you're able to do that.
Yeah, that's a fantastic journey. If you get a chance to check out Fast Forward Fitness's Facebook page or any social media, you can see the progress there. Absolutely dope stuff. Darrell.
Man, I call her Andy for short. Just this woman is she's a superhero. She didn't know it, but she really stepped her game up this last year. And when you watch somebody grow in themselves as a person, and really step into their self-confidence, and just really are vibing with who they are and have confidence in that, man, that's a game changer. Oh yeah. And she really took those steps and cultivated that process, and I think 2019 is going to be a game changing year for her.
Okay, see, dope stuff. Look at that, smiles all around, rightly so. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope here. Let's see, where are we at here? What's the one thing that has impressed you the most about yourself? This is kind of along those same lines. So, Andria for Andria, Darrell for Darrell. I'm
just going to kind of piggyback off Darrell's answer about me. You know, I purposefully went through that journey to kind of get to that place. I set off a goal in the beginning of the year to do this 100 Days of Lives, which I don't, that's not me. I'm an introvert, so I did it. I did the 100 days, no matter what. No, you know, I didn't miss anything. And then I spent the year just kind of keeping up with that.
All right, cool. Sorry about that. Sound effects in the background. All right, so Darrell, what's the one thing that has impressed you the most about yourself in 2018?
Man, I think we could all just take a look in the mirror and have a level of appreciation for this, because I think it's applicable to absolutely everybody, and that is what our capacity is to handle adversity. Yeah. And I think, unfortunately, we, on a constant basis, sell ourselves very short of what we are capable of handling, what we're able to put on our shoulders and walk miles with on end. We're capable of so much more than we give ourselves credit for, just in lieu of comfort. And if you're willing to give up that comfort, those momentary moments of pleasure and joy, I promise you, at the end of the road, everything that you want is waiting for you.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I had a theory that I still rock with to this day, and the theory was that I believe that some of our greatest gifts and talents lie dormant in us for a very valid reason, because they lie dormant because we have yet to dig them out. So until we dig deep within ourselves, these gifts will remain dormant. And a lot of, talking to an uncle, a pastor friend of mine, we're talking about in the graveyard is where you'll find the most lost potential for people who didn't dig deep enough within themselves to find out what they truly love and what they truly like. That way. What they truly love and what they truly like. And if you don't dig deep enough within yourself, then you won't find those things. But I find that in life, through time and through experiences and even through trials, if you dig deep enough within yourself, you'll find the greatness, like we were speaking about here, the greatness that lies within you. But it doesn't give itself freely, because it shouldn't. Because if it just rested on the surface, you wouldn't appreciate it, and somebody could easily take it away. It's the things that are hidden deep within us that we must dig character-wise within ourselves to draw out. So 100% I
love
agree.
that. Man, me and you could have a
That's
2-3 hour conversation on that easily.
That's
man.
what I'm saying, man. Man, I tell you, man. Oh, so good, so good. So this one here, now that I'm looking at it, I'll ask it, but I would do it differently if I didn't already have it down. So I'll ask it anyway. Here, what would a dream 2019 look like to either one of you?
Well, for starters, I'm gonna have to say it. A house with more closet space.
Okay.
I gotta put it out there.
Okay.
That would be really great. But aside from that, honestly, that we just keep going along, working towards our goals, that we keep our relationship, in this great place that it's in, that we're able to enjoy life a little more. We do work a lot, so we need to take some more time, but just keep enjoying each other's company and have our space and travel, and I'm good.
Okay, Darrell.
Yeah, this is a long list, and I have it boiled down for me. So actually, on my computer, there's it's used, but it's a Bentley.
Okay.
But that Bentley is not just a car.
Yeah.
Well, it's a really nice car.
Yeah.
But it's what that car represents.
Yep.
And for me, it's a representation of financial freedom.
Oh yeah.
And financial freedom, I think, is different than what people would refer to as being rich or wealthy.
Oh heck yeah.
The key in that one is freedom, right?
Yeah.
That's the ability to choose what you do, the things that you participate in. Yep. Why you do them, so your motives, they don't always have to be inherently monetarily equated in some way.
Right.
And freedom is the name of the game.
Oh yeah.
I think we're so shackled now by circumstance, obligation, and money these days that we really underestimate the change that we're in.
Oh yeah. I heard someone once say that true freedom is having options.
Absolutely.
If you don't have options, then you don't have freedom, no matter how much money you have. If you're still bound to whatever career you've chosen, or if you're still bound to the things that you purchase with your money, you are just as bound as anyone else without the money or the resources. So I can agree with you 120,000%. I told my cousin I was going to stop using percentages in the podcast because I do it too often. It's just I can't help it, because I'm like, I agree with that 100%. But so I'm a percent dude. So our next question here, just along those lines here, what was the last goal that you set that scared you? And that's for either one of you two. What's the last goal that you set that kind of was like, oh, that's kind of scary?
All right, so the most recent one that I really just kind of put out there is, I don't know, you've probably noticed by now, if you hear this man talk, he's amazing. He articulates his thoughts, he verbalizes everything, he can go on, and it just freaking amazes me. And I'm not great at it. So to be able to go forward in my business, help my team, help everybody grow, I need to get some of that. So I need to definitely, I set a goal to become better at speaking, whether public or with people one-on-one. I really got to get good at it, because if you hear this guy, he's amazing.
Okay, Darrell.
I appreciate that. Man, I'm getting a lot of love today. Y'all pumping my ego up. This is a good day. Turn 40 and you get pumped up.
Right. Happy birthday.
I appreciate that. So you know what? in all honesty, this has been going on for a period of time now, and I think it's the reason why people will look at me as somebody who is succeeding and having constant wins, and that is merely because I choose to put myself on a day-to-day basis in positions where I am constantly uncomfortable or scared.
Okay.
I think that's one of the biggest signposts that let you know that you're going in the right direction.
Oh yeah.
If you're apprehensive about something, it brings a amount of that scared feeling into your life, and you just kind of want to go back to your comfort place. That's always a good indicator that you're moving in the right direction.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So just to say, like, to put that into a specific thing, I mean, I'm writing a book right now. That's terrifying, because I write like I speak. Okay. So it's not going to be the best written book, but that's okay, right? There's a learning curve to everything, and I'm willing to go through the process. I'm scaling my business right now, so we're trying to expand Fast Forward Fitness. Really trying to get Advocare out into the community and a broader reach outside of the state of Wisconsin. Okay. So, that's terrifying. Yeah. Continuing on to bodybuilding, I'm trying to get my pro card in 2019, which would make me a professional bodybuilder.
That's what's up.
Absolutely scary. So, yeah. I mean, I could go on, and not to mention the things that I have lined up for this year that I plan on participating in and winning.
See, that's what's up, dear. I heard the person say that if your goals don't scare you, you're not dreaming big enough. So exactly. I gotta kind of say that. The only funny part about that is that I grew up as a scary kid. Just 'cause you can blame my brother, because he always used to scare me, do dumb stuff. But so for me, like, I have an almost a rage like anger whenever I get afraid. So it doesn't last very long. Like, if I'm afraid, I fight back very, very hard. I don't like that. I don't like that feeling. I don't like being threatened or being afraid. That's upbringing kind of scarred me. So that way I'm always on edge for those things. So I can agree with you. If it scares you a little bit and you can feel that feeling, push forward. Because yes. I always said that bravery is being a hero or being brave is not the absence of fear, but rather the willingness to act despite it.
Yes.
So it's a beautiful thing. So you gotta own that space and say that, yes, I am afraid, but I'm still gonna push forward, because fear doesn't necessarily lock me in.
100%.
100. Yeah, I'm telling you, percentages, man.
Put you on the percentages,
right?
Bro.
See, that's all. I'm like, man, yeah, I agree. So okay, the last goal that scared you, and I had two caveats here, but I don't even think I won't ask the first one. I'll ask the second one. I like that one better here. So the last goal that you set that scared you, what did you learn in the process?
Go for it.
Oh, that's tough, man. You want to pick one and I'll just run with it?
Okay, let's say what did you learn in the process? We'll choose the path of bodybuilding, because I know you said that was about an 18-month process, yes. give or take. Yeah. So what did you learn? Well, no, let's go even further. Let's include that with from the point that you decided to expand Fast Forward Fitness to the point where you competed in the bodybuilding competition, because all of that was kind of tied together. Yeah. So what did you learn in that process?
Yeah. Well, as you'll find out as you proceed through this goal setting process and achieving them, you're going to notice that everything's intertwined, right? Okay. Nothing is interdependent of itself. So. Right. As I went through the bodybuilding process, again, going back to what I said earlier, really finding out what the capacity was that I was able to take on. Mm-hmm. And it's infinite. It's really a beautiful thing. Now, going through the struggles, mm-hmm. not so much fun. Yeah. Right? But getting through the struggles and finding out how truly strong you are, and what you're able to take on, that was probably huge. And you find that you're able to get through that if you can stay disciplined. That's why I'm so big on discipline, because that is self-discovery. Oh yeah. You want to find out about yourself, what you're made of, who you truly are deep down inside. If you remain disciplined through everything that you do, if you install discipline into all of your daily activities, and you decide that you're going to get better in the areas that you want to get better in, you're going to find out who you are and what you're made of. Oh yeah. And within that, you understand what strength is and self-empowerment. And when you're able to empower yourself, you'll find that you're able and willing to dream a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And when you dream a little bit bigger, your actions become a little bit bigger. So deciding to scale the business, deciding to go into bodybuilding, deciding to write a book, deciding to, all the things that I got lined up that I'm going to be chasing down in 2019 was all a result of essentially going through that process of losing the weight, doing the bodybuilding, and discovering who Darrell Jack is at a core level.
Yeah. Okay. Agree. 300%. Again, another percentages because you got to agree. I
love the amounts of your percentages though.
It's random.
It's not that it's just not I'm like 89% on board. You were like 120 million percent before, so
right. So I'm like, the percentages don't matter. Like, it's just random numbers, man. It's just 1,000% how I feel at that moment in time. So
if you hit me with 3% though, I'm like,
3%, man. I'm not really feeling that, man. I'm like 3% on that one. So I once saw in regard to what true power is. I once heard a person say that true power is not in what you do, but what you choose not to do. So I agree, because that's right along the same page of being self-disciplined. The things that you are setting yourself apart for to achieve a certain goal, that's where the real power is. It's easy to slide downhill. It's going uphill that's the problem. So I can agree with you in the process there. Here, so this one is another question here. We are down to only 2 more questions left, including this one that I'll ask here. This one is not on the boards. But just one that I thought of, actually probably today at some point. Setting realistic goal timelines, because I thought that would be important. I'd love to hear your input on that one. Setting realistic goal timelines. What's the importance of setting goals and timelines that are not only challenging, but fair to yourself and those around you? I had a big problem, still do some, I'm getting better now in my older age, but I had a big problem of setting these lofty goals, but giving myself unrealistic timelines. Like, I want to conquer the world by 7:15. Like, bro, it's 6 o'clock. Like, what are you doing? And then being upset, like, man, I didn't do it. Like, well, how could you do it? You can't blame a failure in the structure or the planning as a failure overall. You gotta one piece at a time, like we were talking earlier. Right. But Darrell, what's the question here is, how do you what's the importance of setting the goals and timelines with those goals that are not only challenging, but fair to yourself and those around you? And I know we spoke earlier, when we were talking earlier, you were talking about the 6-month goal, 1-month goal, 1-day goal for those things. So what's the importance of those things?
Yeah, 100%. Well, if you don't have a tangible timeline,
right?
There's a law, and I can't it's eluding me at this moment, but it says that we're basically going to use all the time provided to us to do the task or goal that we're given.
Right.
So if you give yourself 10 years to get to a goal, you're going to take 10 years to get to that goal.
Yeah.
But within that statement, I got to put my own personal caveat in there that there is a point where you can put too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
And you're going to crash and burn, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to ensure failure if you try to push too hard.
Yep.
So I think you want to educate yourself first on what it's going to take to get to that goal. And again, we have so many templates and resources and people that have done and been there already that educate yourself on what it's realistically going to take.
Right.
And if you want to get there ahead of the curve a little quicker than anybody else, know that that's possible.
Yep.
You don't set it absurdly fast that you're not going to be able to achieve it.
Right.
If it's a 1-year goal, to set it in 9 months, that's probably realistic.
Right.
But know that you're going to have to put your work boots and your hard hat on and go to work, right? Yeah. But if you set it for 3 months, it's not the lottery, bro.
Right. And I think that people will use that. They'll set it in 3 months, and they'll use that failure as proof that they shouldn't have tried it.
Exactly.
And I'm like, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. You can't blame the failure of the project on this small piece that wasn't planned out right.
So think about it this way, right? That it takes 9 months and some change to birth a baby. Right. You can't disrupt that process, right? With a good outcome necessarily all the time, right? So there's a process for everything that we're doing, right? So we have to be willing to immerse ourselves in the process. So whatever that timeline is, delve in, be ready to do the work, show up every day, get a little bit better, and be the best as you can be in that given goal.
Yeah, I agree. The next question here that I have again, it's not on the board here, and I don't even know if it's a question, but just along those lines, I think it's a question we'll see at the end of my segment here. I don't know. But what it basically was is I read something recently, and I felt kind of silly that I had never thought about it this way before. But it said that a vision with a timeline is a goal. A goal with steps is a plan, and a plan with something is achievable. I'll look it up. I shouldn't have started it, but anyway, the point that I was trying to get to was how important is visualizing in regard to setting goals, because you need to set these time frames for things, and you need to set your steps. But how important is it to just sit down and visualize all the different points where you want to be and where you are now? How important is that to you?
I've been using visualization since 16 years old.
Okay.
And I really didn't realize the value of it beyond sports until I was probably in my mid-30s.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, it's applicable to everything and every goal that you set. I think we see it naturally in the sports world because we hear about it so much, at least if you watch ESPN. But honestly, that the basic breakdown is that our energy is going to go where we direct our attention. So if you are constantly directing your attention toward a given goal and aim, you have no choice but to figure out how to best get there. What's going to be the best route? What's going to be the easiest route? What's going to make it joyful in the process?
Right.
What's going to make you successful along the way? Who are the people that you need to talk to? What are the resources that you need to seek out? You will start to see all of these things once you start to really get laser focused with your attention on that given goal.
Oh.
It's just natural. It's I call it meditating. I know they say meditating is clearing your mind and being at ease. I have a little different version. I meditate on my goals.
I think I agree with you there, because I think you can, both of those I would equate to being meditative, because you're singularly focused, whether your singular focus is to clear your mind or your singular focus is a specific goal. I agree. Yeah. I agree here.
How much percentage?
That one, I agree. We'll say I'll throw a tentative 4,000% out there. Why not? Because it's a random number here. I did find that statement here that I was trying to read before that I kind of butchered here, and it says a dream written down with a day becomes a goal broken down into steps becomes a plan backed by action becomes reality. So I like that, and I'm surprised that I never had come across that before now. But I'm like, oh yeah. That's definitely going into the mental Rolodex. So
can I just butt in for one quick second?
Go ahead.
Man, I mean the key word in that statement, man, I hope y'all really heard that. The last thing that he said, the key is action.
Oh yeah. It
is action. You have to have all those other things, but I guarantee if you don't do, you will not get.
Right. Yeah. Yep, I agree. All the talent in the world sitting on the couch don't mean nothing.
Exactly.
It'll be right there sitting on the couch. And I think the one of the most interesting things that I had ever heard was that it was some sports show I was watching, or kind of loosely watching, and they were talking about all the different people that were better than all these stars, and they said the only difference between, specifically Michael Jordan and his older brother Larry, said his brother would beat him routinely, but the only difference between those two was Michael's work ethic. Mm-hmm. The only difference, one small difference. Michael Jordan wasn't better than him by any stretch of the imagination. Right. Even Larry was told that. His family said that. His friends said that. But there was only one slight difference, and I use that in my daily life. We are basically similar, but the only difference is how hard will you work for it? What you're pushed for? What action will you take toward that goal? So yeah, I totally agree. Andrea, any thoughts? You're still here.
Gonna follow him. We're on visualization, right?
Yeah, visualization.
No, it's super important. I'm into vision boards. I like to keep pictures or words, in my workspace to kind of keep myself on task, because, if you're not mindful of it, how are you performing those small actions day after day after day? Because they don't seem like they mean much at the time, but you have to do it to get, to where you want to go.
Oh yeah. I agree 10,000%. I agree. Percentages all across the board here. So we have now reached our final question. We'll say tentatively, because of course, as I'm saying this question, I can think of 10 more, and if I do, maybe I'll ask those as well here. But tentatively speaking, our last question is, with all that you both accomplished in 2018, what motivates you to keep pushing forward or keep pushing harder for 2019?
Just knowing that we are capable of so much more than we do right now,
Okay.
that we deserve, the life that we dream of, that we talk about, that we, work towards. Like, we absolutely deserve it. There's no reason we can't have that. So just knowing that, we're smart people, we're motivated, we can make things work. Just knowing that we're capable of achieving every goal we've talked about is just enough to keep motivated every day. Because it's there, we just have to the time has to pass for us to get but we'll be there.
Okay, I'll pause there for a second. I hope that you all caught that she said believing that we are worth it. That is a huge one. So many people don't set goals or don't set lofty dreams because they don't believe that they're worth it, because their family didn't do it. They don't come from that goal setting mindset. They've never seen anyone achieve it. They'd be the first one, or whatever, any myriad of reasons that they would have. You must first believe that it is attainable for you. So that's a huge one. Darrell.
I gotta tell you, it just makes my heart happy to hear what she just said, because there couldn't be anything closer to the truth. And she just said it. We're in process.
Yeah,
we're in the process right now. We're immersed in the process, and I think the biggest part is what is going to push us forward is that we have a dream.
Yeah.
Right, and I don't use that statement lightly.
Right.
A lot of people got these fluffy dreams and their likes and preferences.
Yeah.
Man, I got a dream.
Yeah.
I got a burning desire.
Yeah.
I got something that I cannot go the rest of my life without having.
Yeah.
I will not.
Yeah.
So with that said, if it's not an option, if it's non-negotiable, it's clearly something that I'm going to do.
Right.
Right. So I think that's what we have to do with our goals and dreams. We have to make it a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
This is not up for discussion.
Yeah.
This is not a debatable topic.
Yeah.
Right. This is where I'm going.
Yeah.
So you're either on board or you're in the way.
Yeah. Flat out. Andrea agrees. She gave a nod. I take that as an agreement.
10,000%.
10,000%. See, everybody. I'm gonna have everybody saying percentages by the time this podcast is done, man. Everybody, percentages all day long here. So we have reached our final question here with Andrea and Darrell here, and I'm so very, very thankful that you guys took the time out of your schedule. I know, Darrell, your birthday was yesterday. Took the time out of your schedule to come and sit and fulfill a little piece of a dream that I have here, not even knowing where it's going to go, having a rough idea. But just to come down and sit and talk with me, fantastic people. Like I said, I equate myself with people who are visionaries and people who are positive and people who we're on a common wavelength. And even though we may not agree on absolutely everything, the things we do agree upon are monumental things, and they build strong ties here. So I'm so very happy you guys came here. Now with this the final question here, I'll let you expound on Fast Forward Fitness, 9730 West Greenfield Avenue, West Dallas, Wisconsin here. So if you want to tell us what you guys have going on in your personal life, or any topics, any programs, or anything near and dear to your heart, you can take as much time as you want here. Expound away.
Go for it.
Well, thanks for the plug, man. I appreciate the option to do a little selling of my own here.
Yeah, go for it.
Look, if you're looking to get into the best shape of your life, if you want to transform not only your body but your mind, which will equate to absolutely changing your life, Fast Forward Fitness is absolutely the place you need to be. We have a group of phenomenal trainers. It's really a game-changing process that you're going to go through. Actually, if you're on Facebook, you're likely getting marketed to right now. We got a little campaign going on. We got a 12-week challenge coming up in January 21st. 12-week challenge. We're giving away a bunch of free goodies. You get the best of what we got to offer, and you got a chance to drop upwards of 30 pounds in 12 weeks if you really apply yourself. So and we're going to teach you. We're educated based, so we want to make sure everybody's educated as far as nutrition, exercise, and of course, first and foremost, my biggest thing is mindset. If you don't have your mind wrapped around what you're doing and why you need to do it, you're never going to win.
Yep.
So with that said, I hope to see you at 9730 West Greenfield Avenue, Fast Forward Fitness. Best trainers in the city of Milwaukee. I'll say the state, probably the Midwest.
Why not?
Because I can.
Right. Anything going on with Team Warfit you want to tell us about?
Team Warfit, I don't have the link, but if you friend me on Facebook at Darrell Jack, I got some links up. You can go over to Warfit Clothing, some of the coolest gym gear. I'm a fitness ambassador for the company, and you get a 20% discount on all of your purchases. 20%. So it's win-win for everybody. You get some cool gear, you get a discount, and support an amazing company that I support as well.
See, fantastic. And you get 20%. Percentages all over the board here. 20%. Right. Anything going on with Advocare?
Oh, man. If you are serious about making some serious body composition changes, you want to up your fitness level, if you're an athlete that wants to increase sports performance, Advocare. Now, there's Advocare is a soon-to-be global company. It's been around for 26 years. Best nutritional supplements on the market. I'm talking from the perspective of somebody who's taken supplements for the better part of 26 years now. I've linked my trailer to Advocare because I believe in the company so much. I've actually staked my own reputation and the reputation of my business behind this company because the products are that good. But if you're out there, you know anybody that does Advocare, show them some love because it's the best supplements out there. However, if you want to seek me out personally and have me coach you, again, come to Facebook or go to www.advocare.com/1111995. That'll get you a hold of me personally. We'll link up and I will change the game for you in 2019.
Changing the game for 2019. That was Darrell Jack on Facebook. If you're going to look him up, it's going to be Darrell Jack, Darrell Jack, Jack. And that's going to be your Advocare Connect. That's going to be your Team Warfit Connect. And of course, that's going to be your Fast Forward Fitness, 9730 West Greenfield Avenue, West Dallas, Wisconsin. Connect for training or general life coachery. That's a word, coachery now.
I like that.
You can use that. General coachery. So, again, thank you, Darrell and Andrea, for coming by and helping me fulfill a small portion of my dream in regard to this podcast here. Any last thoughts?
Man, I just want to say thanks for having us be a part of this. And, when this blows up, I want to come back on and do this one more time. I want to do it one more time regardless, but I know this is going to blow up, man. Anytime you follow your passion, big things happen. So thank you for doing your thing and letting us be a part of that, man. And allowing us to be part of your vision.
Much appreciated. Andrea.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us on. It was a good experience. It was good for us.
See? Painless. Yeah.
Mostly, yeah.
See? Now, if I get big and famous, the next time you come here, I'm going to have a white tiger just roaming around here just for no reason. Just because why not?
That works.
I got to do something stupid with money.
Absolutely.
You can leave that tent up all year long.
Yeah, I'm going to do the interview in the tent, but I'm going to have my back turned the whole time. All right, this has been Jonathan for Some Roses Are Red. Again, we have Darrell and Andrea. Thank you 300% for being a part of our Holiday 2019 edition here, and as well the program in general. And of course, like I say always, these people will be back many more times on a myriad of topics, relationships, not necessarily romantic ones, but just relationships in general, because I vibe with their energy. I vibe with their connection in regard to motivating people to get out of your seat and change some things about your life that you wanted to change. Why not do it today? And again, if you're looking for a personal trainer, contact Darrell Jack, DarrellJack, at Fast Forward Fitness, 9730 West Greenfield Avenue, West Dallas, Wisconsin, or Facebook. You can contact Darrell Jack. That's Fast Forward Fitness, 9730 West Greenfield Avenue, West Dallas, Wisconsin. Thank you guys again, and have a good night.
79.7